Oh dear.
So you went in 2018. You're the reason that we may seem a little bit distracted right now is because Murph is in the studio.
Yeah, my dog's under the table.
Murph was asleep.
If you see us all looking around, he's just woken up and now he's walking around causing trouble. You went in 2018. As the only one of us who has walked that grass, talk to us about what it's going to be like. Like hype it up a little bit more as if it needs it.
We want to know some things.
Yeah, we want to know food. I want to know like what it's like getting in there. How often did you get searched? Like, did anyone get kicked out? Like, I want to know all the stuff. Talk us through it.
So when I went 2018, and we stayed nearby in a house. The first thing which was quite weird is we got like a little minibus. We parked about, I don't know, maybe like a mile away. Because actually to get into the car parks and all the rest of it, as you might expect, is really busy around the property. Yeah. So we pulled in like a mile away. The first thing we did, we had to like leave all our phones in the minibus. And it was like we're all like spies and we didn't want to be tracked. So like we're getting all our phones out. Yeah, just chucking the SIM cards out the window. So we left them all. Then we walked up there, and the entrance is very... The entrance that we went in, if you imagine the front of like a theme park.
Yes.
So it's like loads and loads of different turnstiles, like in a slightly curved shape. Mm-hmm. We all walked up there with our tickets. Well, we had like lanyards and we walked in there. And the first thing that really struck me is the staff there were unbelievably friendly. Oh. They were so nice.
That's good.
Like it just like, we went in there just straight away. I was like, this is just like really nice.
That's also like a theme park. When you go to Legoland or whatever, they're always like, "Oh my god, welcome!" Yeah, you're like, I just want to go on the dragon coaster. Yeah. Will you?
It did have that feeling. It did have that feeling of when you got past the turnstiles, everyone like just sped up, just a touch.
Oh yeah.
Like just walked a little bit quicker. Like, oh, I want to get in. I want to get in.
Step.
And then like we walked in like through. Just this quite a wide road, obviously used for cars normally. And then like the white buildings started to appear, like a little putting green to the left, you know, like caught a glimpse of the range, went straight past the shop, which is unbelievably massive. And we'll get into that in a second as well. But you go past that, clubhouse is on the left, and then all of a sudden it kind of like just opens up. You've got clubhouse on the left, like the 18th green a little bit to the left as well. And the first tee is kind of there. So that's shooting off to the right. And the whole property like just almost like opens up before you. If you've been to like an old English country house and they've got all the grounds like sloped and laid out, it looks like that.
Like,
it looks like
walled gardens and...
It looks like a massively perfectly manicured park. Is the best way with sandpits.
Yeah,
is the best way.
With a lot of sandpits
is the best way of describing it. And I was prepared because everyone who says when you go there you will not be able to understand how slopey it is from watching on TV. It's like so slopey. So I went in there and I was kind of prepared. I thought, yeah, it's slopey, but it's not like scary slopey.
Yeah.
The holes that really did catch me out though are the 10th and the 18th.
Yeah.
So the 10th dog leg down to the right hand side.
Yeah.
And down to the left hand side, should I say. It is so downhill.
Really?
It's like a black ski run.
Wow.
It just slopes huge.
But then it goes really uphill, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of levels out at the bottom.
Right.
It kind of levels out at the bottom. So it's got a fantastic design feature. I don't know what this design feature is called, but it goes down to the left hand side, and then there's this huge, massive bunker which is bang in the middle of the fairway. But it's actually a long way short of the green. But when you look at it from the fairway, it looks like it's right on the front of the green.
So deceptive, isn't it?
It's like this optical illusion. Yeah. There must be like a design feature.
Depth of field sort of thing.
And I imagine what that does is like players start to think, that's really close. That's going to be a problem for me. Then you have to like rethink all your decisions.
What's the second like as well? Because that one for me is like I never quite understand how downhill that one is.
It is downhill. That probably wasn't quite as striking.
Right.
It is a bit, but it's more the tee shot that's tough there. It's like a tough right to left.
Yeah, that on TV looks really downhill. So I don't know how you know.
What's the 11th like with that second shot? Because everyone always talks about it. It's like above your feet and things like that. Is that?
It's also the one where the guy goes I don't know who the commentator dude is who goes out and like talks through. This is where
Ken on the course.
Yeah,
Ken on the course.
yeah, this is where the ball's going to land, and
Yeah.
this is the shot that we're playing, and you can see them like all gripping down clubs and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how it would be a bit twitchy
Yeah.
if you're going in there with the pin bead to the left. But the bailout area on the right is
massive, isn't it?
gigantic.
Yeah.
And it's, to be honest, a lot of the courses like that. Like, you get on some tees and you think, you know what, it's not a difficult tee shot. It's so wide open, and the rough is not thick at all. Yeah, but they don't rely on that as a defense.
Right. Yeah.
It's the greens.
It's the greens and the approaches, and the whole place is just so perfectly manicured. And Amen Corner is
Yeah. Talk about 12. That's my favorite.
you know what, 12 is probably the most beautiful, intimidating tee shot.
Hold on, let me just
Wait.
let
What?
me just work that out in my head.
So you go on there, and I was kind of stood like pretty much next to the tee, and I was looking at it, and it's like 140 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm looking at it thinking, this isn't. Like,
Wait.
this isn't.
This
this
is on
shouldn't be that hard.
This is an 8-iron. This is a
on,
very
on a Sunday.
this
though,
is
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like
easy 8 or a 9 or a
you can see there's a bunker short, a bunker along there. It's like it's a narrow green.
right.
But even like when they stick the pin on the right, the one that you can't go for,
Yeah, the hard one.
yeah, the one where everyone hits the bank and goes in the water. I was looking at it and thinking, I could
Just fade one in.
I could just hit a little.
I could birdie this.
I could hit a little cut in there. But that's the whole. That is literally the whole point.
Just tempts you, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, that's-
the whole course is so tempting.
It's the whole point of that course. Is the fact that whole point of that hole, should I say, is that it looks so innocuous.
yeah,
But for the top players,
Great
obviously
word.
with all the water short,
great word.
you know, it for a top player, you know, it shouldn't be that tricky being that short.
It's
But-
wild how many people hit the water.
Yeah, and I think with that little pocket, because the wind does swirl around there, because it's banked on either side by massively tall pines,
Yeah.
but it's got these little avenues where the wind kind of funnels down. So the wind kind of switches in direction, and you get above the trees, it's a bit stronger, and then all of a sudden you got the pressure of like the event on the line. Oh, I'm one behind. Oh, that pin looks tempting. Try and fade it. Don't quite catch it. Hits the bank, comes back. Walk off there with an 8. You're in tears. You go home. You quit golf.
This
Then
sounds
you
like
end
a-
up working in a
sounds like a-
petrol station.
sounds
That is what
bloody nightmare.
that hole can do to you.
That reminds me so much of like the Tiger Woods game, maybe like 05 or something like that. And it could even be the last time Augusta was like licensed in a game. And on the 12th hole, the wind would just turn the compass at the bottom. It would just spin round and round. So obviously when you play the other holes, it's like, oh, wind's off the right, wind's off the left. On the 12th, it just spins. So you hit it at any point. And
You
it'll
can.
just-
I think you can get that on the Nintendo Wii. That might be the closest I'll ever get to playing that course.
They've got it in the new 2K23 one as well.
Yeah. Oh, there was a little event previously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where-
happened
That's
yesterday.
coming out like this week or next week.
Something
isn't it,
like
I think?
that. Yeah. I spent Saturday night. I made my mate a curry and some saffron rice, and we sat down and watched this guy play 18 holes at Augusta. It was the weirdest thing ever, but I was getting into the spirit.
This is the weird. How do you text someone to ask them to come to that?
Yeah.
I said, "Do you want to?" Yeah.
Mate, you fancy going around having a curry and watching some guy play a computer game? Yeah, of course I
I
am.
made quite a nice curry as well. It was quite
Oh,
nice.
babe,
I'm sure it
saffron
was.
rice sounds absolutely lovely.
So you talk about people getting their phones taken off them.
Yeah, so just to get, when you say about leaving your phones, that's because there isn't any phones allowed on property.
Yeah, so if you were to go to that front gate with your phone, they've basically got lockers there,
Right, okay.
and they'll search you. So you just can't take any recording devices in there.
What about some, like,
Can you?
cameras?
You can take it in. You can take it in on the practice days, though, can't you?
Take it on the practice days, but as soon as tournament days start, you can't. And it's quite strange. Like there was quite a few.
Quite therapeutic, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
quite like that. I do quite like it.
Great
But
idea.
Nah.
No?
Yeah. So, two things to say. It is very disconcerting, certainly for me, who have spent the last decade of my life on my phone,
Yeah.
for it not to be in my pocket or not to be in my hand. I was checking my pockets every 4 steps because
Especially
it
on a golf
didn't
course.
feel
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right. Like,
Yeah.
where's my phone? So that was the first thing to say. Second thing is it does free you up to look around a little bit more and to talk to other people. You know, talking to new people, social situations isn't my thing. But
Weirdly enough.
yeah, but it's not something I'm very good at. But because it's in America, it's full of Americans, and they will literally talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So starting a conversation is not difficult,
Yeah.
and you can just
Yeah.
chat for hours. It's for me is one of the best things about being in the States, because I don't have to start conversations. Everyone else does.
I'm a big advocate for the no phones thing.
Yeah, I like it.
They've started doing it at like comedy shows and gigs where it's like, that's fine, bring your phone to the venue, but they like lock them up in bags and you get a token, and then at the end you get to go back and get your phone, so that you're actually there enjoying the show and
Yeah.
not trying to capture it for your Instagram or for whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice when you do watch the highlights or watch the golf, and like everyone is watching and not like behind their phones.
Yeah.
That is nice. It's slightly tricky if you're trying to keep up with the action. So you do have leaderboards around.
Yeah.
And you do hear, it's a cliche, but you hear the roars kind of coming through the trees. So you know if something cool's happened.
So cool.
That sounds so,
So-
good.
So
the way
then
you
you're
say it
like,
that.
then you're like looking at the scoreboard trying to find out what's gone on. It does lose that little bit though, because you do want a little bit more info.
I wonder if they, you know, the Augusta National Golf Club have done some things which have kept up with technology in the past, i.e. made the course slightly longer because they know players are hitting it further now. I wonder if their next technological advancement is like some sort of tablet that you can hire, which doesn't have a camera on it, but will show you maybe highlights, leaderboard, map, you know, kind of make it a bit more interactive.
If my memory serves me right, you can get the Augusta radio thing.
Oh, okay.
That'd
So,
be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be that's not a bad
Or
idea.
just grow up and let's film there. Just like,
Yeah.
do you want to just
Yeah,
just
guys.
go and like
grow up. Come on, Augusta, grow up.
Real hot take.
I want an 18-hole course vlog.
So did anyone try and sneak anything in then?
No, it wasn't worth it.
You literally just get kicked out, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Banned?
well, you get stopped, you get it taken off you, and then they'd probably let you through. I only saw one guy get kicked out. That was on the Sunday. We'd managed to get, one of the good things about Augusta is like if you get one of the chairs, if you wherever you set it up on the golf course, if you leave it, like no one will touch it. If you basically,
That's wild.
so on the Sunday we managed to get down to the 16th green pretty early. Like it was already quite full, but we got our chairs positioned just behind the front right bunker, so we had a good view of the tee and we could see the shots coming in.
Yeah.
So we got them all down there. We got there at like 2:00 in the morning, something stupid. But we plonked them down, and
And there were people there.
yeah,
Yeah.
With beers.
The rest of the green was full. So we put our business cards in the back of the chair.
Okay, I was going to say, like, how do you tell? Yeah.
Business card back of chair, wandered off, and then when we came back to it, when we wanted to sit there, they were just there still.
That's so amazing.
Great.
And that is genuinely like really
So
cool.
reserving your sunbed, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Put your
Down
towel
there, put
down.
your towel
and
down,
Go
everything.
out, go out early before the buffet breakfast.
But that is
Yeah.
annoying, though, at times, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is annoying.
We did have our beach towels to actually wear as well.
Oh right, yeah.
So what do you think of Augusta when you think of it? You think of it green, you
Warm.
think of it warm, you think
Yeah.
of it sunny. It was freezing
Wow.
when we went. The actual sun was warm, but there was like really cold little breeze. And I just went in there with like shorts and a t-shirt and like a light top. 'Cause I didn't think.
Oh, I
Is it
mean,
that bad, yeah.
I'm in the kind of middle of America.
Yeah.
In the middle of. Yeah,
getting
it's
towards
and
the
you don't
summer.
think that it's going to be cold.
No. So we were all freezing. So it was me, it was Seb, Seven Golf, and me and my golf boys.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, what do we wear? Because it's freezing. Like
Yeah.
we were freezing to death. So we went up to the shop.
Do you sell any puffer jackets?
Well, they sell everything. So we went in, got me a little.
Oh yeah, just to
Masters
say
hoodie.
that Pete, if you're listening, Pete is wearing his beautiful Masters
Can I also
branded
confirm
hoodie.
that like
Stash.
you can only buy branded Master stuff at the Masters?
Yeah, it's the only place you can get
So
it.
that's the only place you can buy it.
Yeah.
That's-
So
I like that.
people
I like
just
that.
lose their minds in there.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
admittedly,
Is it?
I
I was
lost
about
my
to say,
mind.
is it
as well.
expensive?
Expensive.
Is
It is so expensive.
Yeah.
Because I wandered around there with my little basket,
Yeah.
big basket, and I was just going around and just pulling stuff off the shelves, like mugs and ball markers and dartboards and like stuff that I'm never ever gonna need.
Dartboard is so good.
Honestly, they were
Tell
that.
you what, a Masters dartboard will look very nice in here somewhere. I think.
They were
You should have bought your Masters. You should have bought your Masters mug in. It's a nice yellow
Yeah, it's
mug,
true. I've
isn't
got a
it?
Masters mug.
Yeah.
The one things I've got left, I've got a Masters mug, got this hoodie, and I got a T-shirt, which is proper battered now. But it was a bit embarrassing actually because I was in the queue to the till.
You realise you're about to spend 500 quid on a dartboard.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. I was in the till and I was looking down at this basket, and I was like, "There's probably about £2,000 worth of stuff in there."
No way.
And I was looking at it, and I'm like, I can't afford this, but is it worth it? So I'm looking down. I'm getting near the front of the queue. I'm looking down, getting near the front of the queue. I'm like, do you need these coasters? And I'm like, probably not. Do you need this bottle? Probably not. So anyway, I ended up dipping out, like got rid of half the stuff. But I reckon I've probably dropped near £1,000 in there.
Wow.
Lord.
Oh, it's stuff. I've got stuff for like my dad and all the rest.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
We'll just
But
get
You
stuff.
would do. You would do, wouldn't you? Like,
That's very
it's
cool.
you're in a kind of fortuitous situation where that might not be the last time you go to Augusta, but for most people to buy that ticket and to go, it's a once in a lifetime thing. You
Yeah.
have to rinse it, don't
Yeah.
you, while you're there?
But that's the only thing that is expensive as well, isn't it? Because the food stuff is actually quite cheap, isn't it? And the beer.
Yeah. The actual concessions are incredibly well priced.
Yeah,
That's
which is
amazing.
good. Yeah.
That was the reason why I got the towel, because it was the cheapest
The
thing
cheapest
that I could
warm
wrap
item.
around.
That's
in.
so cool.
we all got one. So me, Seb, me and my golf, we all got one of these beach towels, and we just wore them like sarongs, like all day.
And there's a photo of that available somewhere.
And then when we sat down, we like put them across our legs because we had shorts on like little old men.
You're so cool.
I know, I thought so. But the actual concessions and the prices, they were, it was like $2 for like a egg sandwich.
So good.
Hot take, pimento cheese sandwich, not
good.
very good.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got to be honest, I was very disappointed.
Okay.
I mean, for our American listeners here, this is not meant as a point of insult, but Americans don't do cheese that well.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a differentiating factor. I think the US pretty much has everything better than UK, apart from cheese. It's the one thing we've got.
We've got cheddar.
Yeah, we've got cheddar and
double
Wensleydale.
Gloucester.
we've got good cheese and we've got dairy milk chocolate. That's basically what we've got. And Heinz baked beans.
Yeah.
That's the one plus we have. So to actually, these like $2 egg sandwiches, like a barbecued pork one, and this peach ice cream, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But then they had this local IPA beer that was like $3 for a pint.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
good
what we
because-
want.
That's so good because we went.
Good Lord, that sounds good.
Well, when we went to the Scottsdale one, it was like, how much was it for a pint? It was like $10 a pint, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It wasn't even a pint. It was the
It's-
Coors Light bottles.
It was like USPGA. I think last year was like $15 for a bit.
Yeah, I remember
And
that. I remember that.
It makes such a massive difference to the fan experience when you know you're going there, you're having a drink, and you're being ripped off.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah, yeah.
worst.
It's like a
thing.
little bit bitter, isn't
Yeah,
it?
there's nothing that says that we do not want you here apart from to take your money. It's
Yeah.
charging 15 quid for fizzy water.
Complete-
But maybe
Completely
that's why the tickets to the Masters are so difficult to get, because it's the only place in the world you can get a pint that good for that cheap.
Yeah.
It makes a difference though. Like if you're gonna if you treat your fans
Yeah.
with respect,
That welcome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
you know-
Not this like corporate kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
that's-
that's probably what the Masters isn't. Is the Masters is a great as a brand is brilliant, but they know that and they respect the fans and everything like that. Whereas you go to like TBC Scottsdale and it's like it's corporate, isn't it?
They're trying
You know
to
what I mean?
sell you
It's
the
like-
experience.
Yeah, yes, that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
people need to take a leaf out there, but
so I mean, it does make a big difference, and they have a good financial resource to draw upon, being who they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes a massive difference. It was the only guy I saw chucked out though. He'd obviously had a few too many beers,
Too many bevies.
but he didn't. So we were down by the 16th, and everyone's like really well behaved. It's quite a respectful atmosphere.
Dude, of course they are.
Yeah, it was a good shot. You go crazy, but it's a nice atmosphere. And this guy, it's not like he did a lot wrong. He was kind of like stood off to my right, and he dipped under the rope, and he kind of did like, one of those where you're trying to avoid being noticed, so you crouch down a little bit, and you walk like a bit of a hunchback.
He went to like sneak mode.
Yeah, it's like a quick hunchback walk, like right across the front of the rope, and then ducked under, like to my left. But because everyone was so well behaved and no one would ever go on the inside of the rope,
Yeah, don't go in there.
everyone like looked at him like he'd like he'd streaked, like he'd done
Yeah.
something
Wow.
unbelievably bad. And then like one of the security guards was like, "Excuse me." Obviously, it wasn't Northern. But
You're right, kid.
He was like, "Excuse me, mate.
This is Augusta
Can't-
National here,
Can't
lad.
do that, pal."
Listen, our kid.
This is up bloody Augusta here now.
Yeah. You're not on Barnsley High Street now. So he like, anyway, he like pulled him off, said, "Can you come with me, please, sir?"
No.
So yeah, I don't know if he actually made
What
it.
was he
home.
trying to achieve?
He was just trying to like meet up with his mates who were a little bit down
Oh,
here,
right,
and he
okay.
didn't want to go through the massive peak.
Right.
Laziness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
And he
yeah.
and he paid for it. But that was literally the only dodgy bit of behaviour.